Well, hey there, folks. Welcome to another Friday fishing forecast. As you can see, I am filling the boat up with its freshwater washdown capabilities. We were out yesterday and over the weekend, and we had used the. Hey, can you turn it off now, Rich? Thanks. Yep, cool. So we were using our freshwater washdown system as a shower, we have a mister system that we can use our misters on for the boat, so that comes in extremely handy when it's extremely hot outside. So we're very fortunate to have that on the Stammis. I think it's something that comes with the Stammis itself. So far we are absolutely loving this boat. I've got to be honest with you, it's beyond my wildest dreams, and we've got a lot of use out of it so far. It's already having to go in for its over 100-hour service. I'm trying to set something up, not this coming week, but the next week, to get it in and get it serviced. That's how many hours we're put on. We may have to sell this thing within less than 2 years, because that's the plan, is to sell this boat in 2 years, buy another boat, and so on and so forth. But we may have to sell it beforehand. But I tell you what, it is being very well taken care of. I try everything I can to keep this thing looking new, and when we go to sell it, it will look new. I promise that, because it's just something that I've been keeping up with and trying to do the best possible thing that I can do with the Stammis. So anyway, we are at the Friday fishing forecast. The weekend is coming up, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful but hot weekend. And we're going to have our typical thunderstorms. As you can see behind me, there's one building in St. Pete, and it is 12:51 in the afternoon. So you always have to watch out for these storms. Last night we actually ran pretty hard once we got to the mouth of the bay, and we ran from the mouth of the bay all the way into the office at about 50 miles an hour. And yeah, the gas was getting sucked down, but at the same time I wanted to beat the storm, and that's what we did. So just be cognizant of what the weather is doing out there. There are going to be your typical afternoon thunderstorms. You just have to just watch them. Be aware of them, and watch the future forecast on this particular radar that I'm using. It's almost dead on where the storms were. Last Saturday we were 30 something miles offshore, and I told everybody, I said, storms are going to pop up in this area, and then they're going to dissipate by about 2:30, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. We were able to run in with no problem because it was between us and land. So pay attention to that. I want to say thank you to everybody that showed up at the Finn's Fishing Club. We had our first true monthly meeting this last Tuesday, and we had a heck of a turnout, especially after July 5th. So I want to say thank you to everybody that came out to listen to me talk. And I'm telling you, this club's going to be just a little bit different than most clubs out there, but all the clubs are good, because no matter how many clubs you belong to, you're always going to learn something new from somebody. I'm having trouble hearing you. Siri is having trouble hearing me. I don't know. Whatever. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the Friday fishing forecast and what we have in store for the tides and solunar periods. Okay, for Saturday, we have a high tide at 9:27 a.m. at a 2.27 foot. Then we have a low tide at 5:10 p.m. at a 0.09 foot. Then on Sunday, we have a high tide at 10:09 a.m. at a 2.50 foot. Then we have a low tide at 6:11 p.m. at a negative 0.18 foot. So as you can tell on those tides, the tides are going to be rushing out in the afternoon. So it's perfect for that crab flush for those tarpon and things like that. I've heard the snook bite has been very good, but you have to use dead bait. And speaking of bait, we've been out the last couple of days, and it's getting harder and harder to catch white bait. And I know exactly what's going on, and it happens every single year right around this time, is that all of a sudden the big white bait just starts disappearing. There's still stragglers, but we're catching a lot of threadfins. So we struggled to catch whitebait yesterday and the day before. And I've talked to several captains that have said the same thing. So what's happening is that those greenbacks, whitebait, scaled sardines, pilchards, whatever you want to call them, are starting to spawn. And when they spawn, the big ones die. The breeders die. they only live for a year. So all that small bait will be showing up very, very soon. I promise you that. We've been getting a ton of questions about our cast nets. You know, when are we getting our cast nets in? Right now, the ship is getting ready to go through the Panama Canal. So I'm hoping within about a week to 2 weeks, I'll get my inventory in, give or take a week or two, because you know how it is when it's on a slow ship from overseas. So we're doing the best we can. It kind of got off guard because we sold a lot more in a short amount of time than we typically do. So I apologize about that, but we do have nets coming in very shortly. So with that smaller bait, you're definitely going to have a 1/4-inch mesh net. We'll have 3 different sizes. We'll have an 8 1/4, 10 1/4, 1.5 pounds, and 10 1/4, 1.3 pounds per foot. Those are the Talon cast nets. But bait has been difficult. So that's telling me, A, that I am going to have to start to prepare to catch smaller bait, or B, especially if we're going offshore or even fishing inshore for grouper and snapper, I may have to pull my concentration into dead bait, cut bait, and to pinfish, especially big pinfish for the big grouper. If you're wanting to catch grouper inside the bay, it's either dead bait, like cut bait, or live pinfish. That's what I would highly recommend during this time of year. And a lot of the flats fish are doing the same thing because that water temperature is up so high. I think it's close to 90 degrees in the bay, that these fish get lethargic and they don't want to chase a bait. So use cut bait, and I promise you, you'll catch catfish, but you will get some of the biggest snook I've ever seen caught was on pieces of just dead threadfin on the bottom or big cut bait. So take that into mind when you're out flats fishing in this heat. Now let's go ahead and talk about the slooners, because I'll tell you right now that the last 2 trips out that you'll see videos on later this week,
yeah. Look at that thing.
the red grouper bite was insane on the minor feeding time. When the minor feeding time went off, these big red grouper offshore went off. Every drop that we were dropping down was catching big. Our smallest one in the boat that we caught during that time was 24 inches. So that goes to show we went out and repeated it the next day, and it did the same exact thing. So the major and minors do make a difference. So let's go ahead and talk about those. On Saturday, you have a major feeding time from 8:25 a.m. to 10:25 a.m. Then you have a minor feeding time from 3:50 p.m. to 4:50 p.m. Then on Sunday, we have a major feeding time from 9:22 a.m. to 11:22 a.m. Then we have a minor feeding time from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. So again, if you're not paying attention to the salooners matched with the tides, I highly recommend it. I know I talk about it all the time, but we're getting a lot of new viewers. And with a lot of new viewers, what's going on? Our subscribership is starting to go up, and it's starting to move up at a pretty rapid pace now. And we are extremely close to 18,000 subscribers. We're at 17,950 subscribers. So, with that being said, if you have not subscribed to our website at tampabayfishingchannel.com, you might want to go there and subscribe there. That will put you in the running to be picked for the 18,000 subscriber winner to go fishing with us. We're going to do it every 1,000 subscribers we move up. So 19,000, we'll pick another one. 20,000, we'll pick another one. So if you have not subscribed to the website, do that. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel, which helps that number grow faster so we can get to the next 1,000 plateau quicker. With all that, let's go ahead and get into the top catches. And I, again, want to thank everybody for sending me in pictures of the fish that they're catching. It really means a lot to us, especially when they send us pictures and they say, oh, I used your techniques, not necessarily our gear, but our techniques, and we were able to go out and catch fish. And some of them are sending us pictures using our jigs and our techniques and catching fish also. So thank you for that. Let's go ahead and get into the top catches for this week. In this week's top catches, we have Laura, who is fishing with Captain Christian Lugo with Family Ties Charters. They were able to bring in 2 real nice gag grouper caught inside Tampa Bay using our slacker jigs. In this next video, here is Angel Silva with a real nice sheep's head. Thank you for sending that picture in, and thank you for the kudos of us being able to help you catch some fish. And in this last picture, we have Glenn Harding with a stud of a kingfish caught by Captain DJ on Travis's guide service. Again, I just want to say thank you to everybody out there for all of the support, for continuing to buy our tackle, our jigs, and everything else, and the cast nets. I know once we get cast nets in, they're going to start going like crazy. So I'm probably going to prepare to go ahead and put in another order and have that already being processed because they're handmade. So it takes some time for them to make these nets. So anyway, if you're going fishing, good luck this weekend. Fish more, catch more, and we'll see you on the flip side.